Good morning, happy day. Having a cup of tea will change your mood in seconds. It will open up our eyes, it will give us energy, and it will recall all the related memories. It is very easy to make a cup of tea, but is it very easy to make a nice cup of tea? Is there any rule or etiquette to prepare a better tea? Let's see. Here, the author George Orwell highlights the distinctive features of preparing a nice cup of tea. So, the title is A Nice Cup of Tea by George Orwell. Introductory part in the text. If you look up tea in the first cookery book that comes to hand, you will probably find that is unmentioned, or at most you will find a few lines of sketchy instruction which give no ruling on several of the most important points. This is curious not only because tea is one of the mainstays of civilization in this country as well as in air means Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand, but because the best manner of making it is a subject of violent disputes. When I look through my own recipe for the perfect cup of tea, I find no fewer than 11 outstanding points. On perhaps two of them there would be pretty general agreement, but at least four of others are acutely controversial. Here are my own 11 rules, every one of which I regarded as golden. See, as I asked, is there any rule or etiquette to prepare better tea? Of course, everybody followed their own rules to make tea, but here George Orwell brought out his 11 rules to make a nice cup of tea. He already admitted that some of them will be controversial. According to him, all the 11 rules are golden rules. Orwell narrated all the 11 golden rules about making a tea along with his experience after drinking it. See, one who desires to cook or learn how to cook may have the cookery book. Cookery means cookbook. It contains a lot of recipes, cuisines like that. There will be many recipes, dishes, cuisine in it. And even tea also. But no one look at the recipe of tea because it is very easy and common and unforgettable. If anyone look at the tea recipe, they look at the rules very casually. Making a cup of tea is not a cuisine which needs more time, ingredients or any items. We might have heard and tasted many varieties of tea. Here, the author tells how to prepare a nice cup of tea by his own golden rules. Will it be nice? You will not have tasted, but at least you can imagine how his recipe is. Let's see how he starts. The first one. First of all, one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. Ceylonese means Sri Lankan, older name of. China tea as virtues which are not to be despised nowadays. It is economical and one can drink it without milk, but there is not much stimulation in it. One does not feel wiser, braver or more optimistic after drinking it. Anyone who has used that comforting himself phrase a nice cup of tea invariably means Indian tea. First point is, the first rule is preference of tea packet. If we want to feel wiser, braver and to get optimistic thought after drinking, then one must choose Indian or Ceylonese tea. Ceylonese means Sri Lankan. Ceylonese tea. You might have heard the China tea is best of all and it has good qualities. Many people liked it, and if we thought about any varieties of tea, the first comes out from our mind is China tea. It was more economical, could drink it without milk. If you want to say or to feel this is a nice cup of tea, it is agreeable. China tea is very cheap and economical and has good qualities. But where is that excitement, thrilling? Simply drinking tea is not important. As he told earlier, it should give us energy, excitement. If we want to feel all this, then Indian tea or Ceylonese tea is the perfect choice. So the first rule is preference of tea is Indian or Ceylonese. Secondly, tea should be made in small quantities, that is in a teapot. Tea out of an urn is always tasteless, while army tea made in cauldron tastes of grease and whitewash. The teapot should be made of china or earthenware. Silver or Britannia ware teapots produce inferior tea, or enamel pots are worse. Though curiously enough, a pewter teapot, a rarity nowadays, is not so bad. So the second one is tea should be made in small quantities in a teapot. First one is quality, second one is quantity. There is a teapot which always consumes heat. Chinaware or earthenware will consume heat, so that kind of teapot will always very useful to make small quantity of tea. Quantity of tea. Tea always taken to small quantities. If you are making tea without urn or from any other vessels utensils, it will be tasteless. Army tea made in Colran, which gives taste of grease and whitewash. Silver pot or Britannia ware teapots changes the taste of tea. Pewter teapot is also good choice to have a good tea. Pewter teapot is very rare nowadays, but it is good to use. So these kind of pots can directly place it on the hob, place it on the stove also. Choosing a ware is also very important. Thirdly, the pot should be warmed beforehand. This is better done by placing it on the hob than by the usual method of swilling it out with hot water. Third point is the teapot should be warmed beforehand. If you want to take the tea after some time, then directly place it on the hob and get warmed. This is better than that of those usual method of swilling it out with hot water. Tea need not to keep it in the hot water so that it consume heat. Instead of, we can directly place it on the hob. If the teapot was warm, it wouldn't need to take as much as heat from the water. When the teapot is warm, this allows it to stay warm longer. Fourthly, the tea should be strong. For a pot holding a quart, if you are going to fill it nearly to the brim, 6 heaped teaspoons would be about right. In a time of rationing, this is not an idea that can be realized on every day of the week, but I maintain that one strong cup of tea is better than 20 weaker ones. All true tea lovers not only like their tea strong, but like it a little stronger, which with each year that passes. A fact which is recognized in the extra ration issued to old age issued to the old age pensioners. Fourth one is tea should be strong. When you are very tired, a cup of strong tea can provide you immediate energy. Strong tea taken to small quantities. Many of us won't touch the tea cup until the cup fills completely. But Orwell believes that one strong cup of tea is better than 20 weaker ones. According to his research, if the teapot contains 1/3 of water and if you are going to fill it nearly to the brim, then 6 heaped teaspoon tea is about right. Their time of rationing, they won't get enough that they can't use 6 heaped teaspoons every day. He used to maintain to have small quantities but stronger one. Tea lovers always like to have strong one day by day. They realized after got extra rations in their old age. So the tea should be strong even in small quantities. Fifthly, the tea should be put straight into the pot. No strainer, muslin bags or other devices to imprison the tea. In some countries, teapots are fitted with little dangling baskets under the spout to catch the stray leaves, which are supposed to be harmful. Actually, one can swallow tea leaves in considerable quantities without ill effect, and if the tea is not loose in the pot, it never infuses properly. Fifth one is the tea should be put straight into the pot. Strainers, muslin bag will imprison the tea. Some of the countries have teapots where fitted a dangling baskets under the spout to catch the stray leaves. The stray leaves are supposed to be harmful. We can taste tea leaves in considerable quantities in the tea leaves, and moreover, if the tea is not loose in the pot, it never infuses properly. Tea leaves should infuse very properly. It will happen only when the tea leaves loose in the pot. If we comprise it, restrict it, it won't give much taste. So it is better to put tea leaves straight into the pot. Sixthly, one should take the teapot to the kettle and not the other way about. The water should be actually boiling at the moment of impact, which means that one should keep it on the flame while one pours. Some people add that one should only use water that has been freshly brought to the boil, but I have never noticed that it makes any difference. Sixth one is one should take the teapot to the kettle. Some people will make a pot of tea. Right in the tea kettle, but the main purpose of kettle is to boil water, not actually make tea. As the hot water is poured over the leaves, it allows for proper aeration and releases the full flavor of the tea. According to him, some people will like to have tea without prepared in kettle. It doesn't make any difference to say a nice cup of tea. Seventhly, after making the tea, one should stir it, or better to give a pot a good shake, afterwards allowing the leaves to settle. So the seventh one is shaking the pot is important. After making a tea, we should stir, mix it well by giving good shake of the pot. Place the teapot to settle down the tea leaves in it. Afterwards, we pour into the cups. Very simple. Eighthly, One should drink out of a good breakfast cup, that is, the cylindrical type of cup, not the flat, shallow type. The breakfast cup holds more, and with the other kind, one's tea is always off cold before one has well started on it. Eighth one is one should drink out of a good breakfast cup. Orwell insisted even what kind of cup to be chose. One should use cylindrical type of cup to drink it. He told to select a shallow type cylindrical cup. Other cups tea will become cold before people start to drink. But the cylindrical cup, the breakfast cup, holds more to consume heat. Ninthly, one should pour the cream of the milk before using it for tea. Milk that is too creamy always gives tea a sickly taste. The ninth one is one should pour the cream of the milk before using it for tea. One should take away the cream from the milk that and then pour into the cup. If you want to take away the cream, let the boiling milk to be rest for a while. The cream will come up. But this rule is not followed by everyone. Cream from the milk always gives tea a sickly flavor, so he asked to cream of the milk. Tenthly, one should pour tea into the cup first. This is one of the most controversial points of all. Indeed, in every family in Britain, there are probably two schools of thought on the subject. The milk first school can bring forward some fairly strong arguments, but I maintain that my own argument is unanswerable. This is that by putting the tea in first and stirring it as one pours, one can exactly regulate the amount of milk, whereas one is liable to put in too much milk if one does it the other way round. Tenth one is one should pour tea into the cup first. He considered this one is the most controversial one. In Britain, they won't agree this point. See what was he trying to say? One should pour the tea first, and in the meantime, one should pour milk as they want. It means he gives importance to the tea, not to the milk. In Britain, every family comes up with their idea which pour the milk first into the cup and they take tea as they need. But the people like milk, they pour first into the cup. Here, the Orwell take the tea first into the cup. He wants to take all the aromas of the tea. Lastly, tea, unless one is drinking it in Russian style, should be drunk without sugar. Very well that I am in a minority here, but still, how can you call yourself a true tea lover if you destroy the flavor of your tea by putting sugar in it? It would be equally reasonable to put in pepper or salt. If you sweeten it, you are no longer tasting the tea, you are merely tasting the sugar. You could make a very similar drink by dissolving sugar in the plain hot water. Some people would answer that they don't like tea in itself, that they only drink it in order to be warmed and stimulated, and they need sugar to take the taste away. To those misguided people, I would say try drinking tea without sugar for a fortnight, and it is very unlikely that you will ever want to ruin your tea by sweetening it again. Last but not the least, one should use Russian style tea, which means without sugar. He says a true tea lover always taking tea without sugar. If you are putting sugar in it, it is equal to put pepper and salt in it. What is his point? We destroy the flavor and taste of the tea by putting sugar in it. If you want to sweeten the tea, then how will you find the taste of tea? It means we are tasting the sugar, not the tea. If you want to sweeten it, it is instead of we take sugar dissolved in the plain hot water. That will also give you a sweet flavor. But one is really want to taste the tea, then drink it without sugar. Many drink tea, but not they feel it the taste, but just they want some for namesake as a warmed drink. So they add sugar in it, but this strong point is adding sugar means ruining the taste of a tea. These are not the only controversial points to arise in connection with tea drinking, but they are sufficient to show how subtilized the whole business has become. There is also the mysterious social etiquette surrounding the teapot, why it is considered vulgar to drink out out of your saucer, for instance. And much might be written about the subsidiary uses of tea leaves, such as telling fortunes, predicting the arrival of visitors, feeding rabbits, healing burns, and sweeping the carpet. It is worth paying attention to such details as warming the pot and using water that is really boiling, so as to make quite sure of wringing out of one's rations of 20 good strong cups of that 2 ounces properly handled or to represent. You might have thought some of we follows as it is in the rules, and it's all minute. It's very important by telling, boiling, choosing a cup, cream of the milk. All this is important. Yes, paying attention to such details is very important. Such kind of everyday work need not to mention frequently, but we do. So if we taken it that count, why can't we pay attention to preparing tea, better tea? There will be some set of rules which is socially accepted for making tea or any other thing, but it is very important to paying attention to such details so that he could make that kind of strong tea of that 2 ounces, which was he properly used his rations. So it was good to tell everyone, even in his confined ration, he could make a strong cup of tea and brought out the point is he is a true tea lover. So, among the all 11 rules, some of them have proved that he paid close attention to such minute details. It is good to share everyone if you are paying close attention such details which will make others get benefited. Thank you.